Hey guys, what's up? This is Intel back with another video. I don't know how you do your
Should I just leave that in? Hey, what's up guys, it's Incel here, and today I'm gonna be doing a Bedwars tips and tricks video, sort of an advanced guide, and I have this dude right here, Carl Papa.
Hell yeah.
So we're doing this video together. He's a really good Bedwars player, so make sure to check out his channel in the description. He's also a really awesome dude. But anyways, yeah, we're just gonna be making a tips and tricks guide. There's a lot to this. I'll leave timestamps in the description for you guys to jump around to, but with that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, so I want to start off this video talking about the mechanical skills that you need to be good in Bedwars. Now for Bedwars PvP, there isn't actually a lot of mechanical skill that goes into it. Like, there isn't a high skill gap. The point that I'm trying to make here, however, is because the PvP aspect of Bedwars isn't that hard, it makes Gamesense all the more important. You don't have to be the best at PvP to play Bedwars, because if you have that Gamesense, then you're going to be able to outplay a lot of people in your lobby. However, there are a few mechanical skills that I want to emphasize on because they will help you if you master them. And if you guys want some more in-depth explanation on these topics, then I actually have a PvP tutorials playlist that you guys can look through for a lot of these things, and they should help quite a bit. But anyways, the first thing is having relatively good aim. You want to try to make sure your aim is good when you're going into fights. The second thing is really big, and that is the ability to sprint reset. And what I mean by that is not going into fights holding W the whole time and doing stuff like block hitting, W tapping, S tapping. All of these terms are different ways to deal more KB to your opponent, and KB is a huge aspect of Bedwars. It allows you to do stuff like KB people into the void, combo people. It's really important to master stuff like block hitting, W tapping if you want to get good at PvP. The next thing I want to talk about is the ability to hotkey. Now, you don't need a hotkey for every spot in your inventory, however, you should have a hotkey for at least your blocks. That's a really big thing. You really don't want to be scrolling to your blocks to be able to use them. For me, I have my blocks in my 9th slot, which I access through F, but once again, it's personal preference, but you should have a hotkey for at least your blocks. And the last thing I want to talk about is building, and there's a lot of things that fall into this category. Stuff like speed bridging will help you so much in just getting around the map and pressuring people. Block clutching, getting high ground over your opponent. If you guys want to practice those things, I recommend playing the bridge on high pixel duels. Another thing, I don't know if there's an actual name for this, but what a lot of people will do is when fighting people, they'll try to place a block in front of the other person so the other person runs into that block and it stops their movement. I'll show a video example of exactly what I mean, but because the other person runs into that block and it stops their movement, it makes it so much easier to combo them, so that's also a big thing. But being versatile with your blocks is probably one of the biggest mechanical skills in Bedwars because your blocks are so important to use. Anyways, that's just about it for this segment, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Carl explain the next one.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Carl Baba. I have to make this intro short because basically this map is an 8 iron rush, which means you wait till you have 8 iron and then you rush. It's pretty intense, bro. Okay, so basically Intel wanted me to talk about Gamesense. How you want to use Gamesense to your advantage in winning the game. Because Gamesense is one of the more important parts about Bedwars. Like what items to buy and when. Oh my goodness, dude, it's so laggy. Obviously, I'm not the one talking about PvP, okay, guys? So don't bully me. That's Intel's job, okay? So a big part of game... What the heck just happened there, bro? Well, I don't even know how those hits worked, but you know they did. You know what? I'm not complaining, okay? Yeah, so Intel wanted me to come on to talk about Gamesense. I've honestly watched Intel for a while, like when I was at like 100 subs, so that's pretty epic. And I really appreciate how much thought he puts into his videos. They're pretty interesting. My channel will be in the description if you want to watch. But yeah, I'm just going to be talking to you about like a few tips I know as far as Gamesense is concerned. Gamesense is basically knowing what to do and when to do it in like certain situations. So White just fell and I broke his bed. Like I wanted to wait a little bit because you know, that's pretty epic if they die, right? You know, I'm not gonna lie, that was just complete luck that he fell then. You can go in the void, die. So Gamesense involves also map awareness, which is something you develop through experience of playing. So I knew there's a little spot up here so I could surprise attack, but he also knew. He was looking up there. But you know, it doesn't matter. Wait, green's the only team left. Green has started rotating this way, so therefore he's gonna be coming from this way. So that's something I can observe by seeing that green block over there. So that's kind of scary. I should probably void, right? Come here, boy. I want to use this fireball at the right time. You know, I could probably use it right there. So an example of Gamesense is if you see somebody go to mid and then leave mid with all the emeralds while you're fighting somebody, like if you see them over in mid doing stuff while you're just doing your own thing, then you can make an assumption and just be aware that they may have obby or they may have invis potions. You just got to be ready for anything. So there are different observations you can make throughout the game that can sort of give you a sense of what's going on in the game. And Nobody saw that. Sometimes you gotta make the enemy think you're bad, and then it actually works out in the end. Okay, green man, please go ahead and fall into the void. Thank you. If you weren't an experienced player, you would be like, you'd probably just let them go past you as you went for their base. But you don't want to really trade beds, if at all. You want to know how long it's gonna take to get to their base, and if they have time to break your bed, like run past you. Because even if they're not as skilled as a player, they can still like trade beds with you, and it's not a very ideal of a situation like this. What dude? He has slowness. He has slowness. This is horrible. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, it does. I'm actually kind of glad I died because I have a bit more to explain. Basically, Gamesense is developed through just playing a bit. Okay, I've played a bit, so I know a few things. You want to notice who's broken, who's bad, who seems good in the game, so you can make decisions based on that. You see, now I know that this guy's going this way, but you know, he's not gonna have enough time because he's gonna have to bridge over here, and by the time he bridges over here and rotates to my base, I'm gonna have broken his bed. A little bit of map knowledge. I just know he's not gonna break my bed in time, so I can just void right here. Now I'm gonna pull a cheap move and buy a bow and arrow because you know, that's just what you gotta do sometimes. I'm sorry. Okay, you ready for these epic plays, guys? This is called the waiting strat. Now, literally on his end, if he had the game sense, he would know that I just voided. So most likely I know that he's rotating this way. So that's how he can know, for example, that I might be hiding somewhere or whatever. But he's underestimating me. He probably thinks I'm dumb. He probably thinks I rotated this way all the way back around. But who would do that? If I was in his position, I might think something's up. But you know what? He doesn't. He seems to be on his merry way. Just sort of vibing, you know? Yeah. But yeah, basically you work on Gamesense by just playing the game and knowing what happens in the game. Bedwars is a very situational based game. So depending on the situation, you might want to make a couple decisions, play the game, learn the maps, learn the metas. So like which sides to rush on the maps. And then that's basically it. You make decisions based on that knowledge.
All right, I'm going to be elaborating a little more into Gamesense and going into more of the finer details. And I want to start off by saying Bedwars is an offensive game. If you stay at your base the whole time, regardless of building a solid bed defense, you are leaving yourself vulnerable to the threats around you, and you're suffocating yourself from other resources around the map. Your very first objective at the start of the game should be to pressure the island that's closest to you. Being fast is really important, and the first thing that you should buy at the start of the game is wool to bridge with. Different maps have different requirements, so for example, you only need 8 iron to rush on Lighthouse, but you need at least 12 to rush on Ashfire. I'll actually leave a list for all the iron requirements when rushing in the description so you can look at that. Another thing you should keep in mind when pressuring other players is that having high ground, it puts you at a huge advantage. High ground makes it harder for your opponent to pressure you, while also gives you the opportunity to jump down on your opponent at any time you want. If you're bridging towards another person and they're also bridging to you, you should always be looking to get high ground over them. Also make sure while you're bridging to turn around and check what your opponent is doing. You don't want to realize very last second that they have high ground over you or they have a fire charge. Item utilization is a huge part of Bedwars, and there's so many good items from the shop that you can use to put yourself in an advantage, so make sure that you get familiar with all the items in the shop. One example are fireballs, and fireballs are super versatile. You can use them as a projectile to throw people into the void, but you can also use them to deal some splash damage in a fight, or you can use them for mobility and fireball jump to other players. Another example that good players use are throwing down iron golems when you 1v1 players late game and they don't have a bed, and that'll put you in an advantage in that 1v1. There's so many more examples of different items that you can use to give you an advantage, like a bow, KB stick, TNT, so really make sure that you familiarize yourself with all the items in the shop and then place all the important items that you're going to be utilizing often in your quick buy menu. The last thing I want to touch up on is when players go to mid and they get emeralds, a lot of the times they'll buy diamond gear, and you really don't want to do that. And the reason for that is because the other stuff that you can buy with emeralds is just better. Like for example, potions. If you get invis jump boost, that'll put you at a much bigger advantage than a diamond sword when pressuring another island, not to mention it's cheaper. And ender pearls are also really good, and they can save you if you don't have a bed. There's just so much more value you're getting with the other items that you buy with emeralds as opposed to a diamond sword or a diamond armor.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about clutching. This map is an 8 iron rush, by the way. So basically what you want to know about clutching... Okay, really? You know what? I actually might need a clutch in this game. Yeah, we're going to put a thin layer of wool on our bed real quick. Okay, I messed up on that block breaking, bro. What? And there are 2 things you want to focus on when you are clutching. Well, there's more than 2 things, but as far as materials wise, you want a lot of diamonds and emeralds. And basically the reason for this is when you're clutching, you're in survival mode, right? So you want to stack up on reinforced armor and sharpened swords. If you're a good PvPer, probably sharpened swords. If you're a bad PvPer, Probably reinforced armor, to be honest. So literally, I probably won't have to clutch this game just because it's going pretty good for me. Aqua actually is going this way. So I'm just going to let him break my bed and go over here. So this guy's going to break my bed. I'm going to buy fireballs because literally fireballs saved my life so many times. Okay, guys. So we are in clutch mode. But yeah, basically, I want to be going around the map getting diamonds. Aqua's bed was actually destroyed by yellow, so that's kind of good. Nobody has a bed. On this map, the rush to mid is actually pretty far, but we're going to go for it because that's one of the things we have to do, because that's one of the things we have to prioritize is emeralds, because if we want to win this, we might as well get some emeralds to help us along the way, right? Just help us out a bit. So yeah, I have 5 diamonds, but I just want to stay on the move real quick because you don't want to be caught in a place that you can't handle yourself in. So mid is a good place to sort of be. See, this is what I mean. If you go to mid, you can build up places and get the height advantage. So we're just gonna hop down here, and he took like a whole bunch of fall damage. Dude, he's gunning for us, bro. Like, he's not giving up, dude. Like, what? I really don't know what he's doing, to be honest, but you know. So now I should be frantically searching for yellow now because I just got done a fight and I want to know where yellow is. The thing about clutching is you want to know where your enemies are at all times because you have no bed. So we have enough emeralds, so we could probably afford a tracker. So we're going to track this guy. 7 blocks. Okay, yeah, he's right there. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of diamonds now, right? So we can get sharpness and also reinforced armor. So we're just going to pop our potions because we have prepared for this clutch. And he literally has no chance against us because we can legit hop up here. Okay, you know what? He actually does have a chance. What? Okay, we're gonna go up here, eat a gapple. This server is like super laggy right now. I know I have better gear than him because I've gotten more like he was crit spamming me too. It's just proof that even if they're better than you, literally just go get a whole bunch of upgrades, get super OP, get some potions, get whatever you need to do to win, okay? Even if it's scummy, it doesn't even matter, bro. Just don't get a punch bow. That's kind of drawing the line. But yeah, literally you could be the worst player, and if you know how to clutch, you can easily win games because invis takes no skill.
Now, the last thing I want to touch up on is decision making. Bedwars is comprised of a ton of decisions that will determine the outcome of your game, and it's really important to think strategically and think ahead. The key to winning games are being able to identify 2 key ideas. What are my best odds of survivability, and who is my biggest threat? So let me give you guys an example to try and illustrate what I'm talking about. You're in a game, blue and white are across the map fighting each other. Pink is across from you, currently stacking up resources on their gen. Green is building out to mid, yellow's bed is gone, and they're pressuring other islands. What do you do? So right now, your biggest threat is pink since they're the island that's right across from you and they have the easiest pathway to your island. You want to eliminate them and take control of their island. Next, your focus should be on green since they're at an advantage from holding mid uncontested. You don't have to worry about blue and white just yet because they're occupied with each other, and you shouldn't be prioritizing yellow either since they don't have a bed unless they start rotating to mid or they start going to pressure you. You always want to be thinking about who is your biggest threat, and you always want to make sure that you're putting yourself in situations where you have the best odds of survivability. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Once again, huge shout out to Carl. He was a big help in making this video. He knows a lot more about the game than I do, so please make sure to check him out in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.